Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brittany Satterfield. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to be here with you today. Today, I will be sharing with you marketing in the post-COVID era. I'll be taking you through tips to help you build your strategy for the year 2021, discuss budgeting, tactics to keep focused on, and the noteworthy changes in our personas through and after the pandemic. Before we get started, I wanted to give my team a quick shout out for helping me put this presentation together. My company, Impact Digital Marketing, is a full-service digital marketing agency that helps businesses develop and execute web strategies through targeted ad campaigns, SEO, social media, custom websites, and creative. My team does a fantastic job at going the extra mile, going above and beyond to help make sure your marketing goals become a reality. All right, so let's jump in. 2020. It's certainly been quite the year, hasn't it? From the COVID-19 pandemic, the Black Lives Matter movement, the national unrest, transition of working from home, and some people starting homeschooling, there have been so many industries that have been shifted or even came to a halt this year. Now, as marketers, we're certainly no stranger to how buyers' decisions change over time. For years, we've seen how the innovations in digital marketing has helped us connect to buyers in a whole new way. But this year has been even more interesting. COVID-19 has truly changed the way businesses are operating, how we're communicating to our audiences, and how we're meeting the needs of our buyers. This year alone has introduced to us a whole new world of thinking when it comes to targeting people now working remotely, dealing with sicknesses in the family or themselves, while still attracting the audiences and engaging them with our customers. So a quick disclosure, I do not claim that I know the future, but let's take and see what we can use from the last 9 months and learn from it so we can utilize it in our 2021 strategy. So you're all asking it, or at least thinking of it, when are we going back to normal? Okay, at least I've been thinking that myself. If you're like me, you're probably tired of hand sanitizing constantly, wearing your mask, and you probably just want to jump on a plane, travel far away, and get on a beach somewhere. It's long overdue. It's been a year, so if you're with me, you know. So the fact is that it's not going to be normal for any time soon. At least we need to get the idea that this is our new normal for the time being. Of course, things will eventually go back to somewhat of a normalcy, but that doesn't mean that you should set your content strategy goals aside for the time being and wait for something great to happen. Now is the time to tackle the rest of the year and get your 2021 strategy in place. So, this was a question that's also been floating around the internet. When are we going back to normal? A recent survey conducted by user testing sent out 1,100 surveys and 60 interviews to learn what needs to happen before they're willing to resume to your pre-pandemic lifestyle. And most people said that when there's a vaccine. But in that same survey, they shared that they weren't even going to jump in to take that vaccine right away. So either way, things aren't changing anytime soon. So since we're not going back to normal anytime soon, and turning to a new year won't magically change everything for the better, we need to use what we've learned over this past year through the pandemic and how we can use them to create our 2021 strategy. My team and I have researched and searched through relevant studies that show how consumers are engaging with brands, how their shopping has changed, and learning even what they want to know from their brands. With this, we have developed 8 key lessons that you can take into the year 2021 so that you can develop the approach that fits your consumers and brand. All right, lesson number 1. How and what you communicate is key. When COVID-19 hit, it was clearly obvious that marketing messages have started to change. Empathy and the unity message was being utilized by like never before. Whether it was to thank the frontline workers, to show we're here for you, share how we're supporting you through these times, or how they're helping others, there are so many brands that really did a fantastic job genuinely showing their concern and sensitivities to the audiences. So we have a few examples that really stood out. Uber did a great job at thanking them to not use Uber. So they did a great job at utilizing the situation. They knew people weren't going out using Ubers, going to parties, going places. So they said, thanks for not using Uber. Thanks for not going out and spreading and staying home. So they did a really good job at sharing that message. Another great commercial, Domino's, contactless delivery. Let's go through that one.
Domino's knows delivery, so when we asked our team members how to make carry-out more convenient, they had thoughts. That's a thought. Deliver it. Even better. Introducing Domino's Carside Delivery. Just pull up, check in online, and we bring your food to you. It's carry-out delivered.
So Domino's did a great job at sharing a whole nother way you can get your pizza. I don't know about you, but I don't like going into the store to touch the same old dirty pen everyone's been using to sign your receipt. Just put it right in your car and you're good to go. So communicating that was fantastic. All right, and a final commercial we'll go through is the Burger King commercial. So they did a fantastic job shedding light on the situation by releasing a really funny video that keep people home, giving them the feel that it's their patriotic duty to stay on their couch.
Your country needs you to stay on your couch and order in. Do your part, and we'll do ours. Order through the Burger King app, and the delivery fees are on us. So staying home doesn't just make us all safer, it makes you a couch patriot. And to help healthcare heroes, we are donating Whopper sandwiches to nurses. And we are also proudly supporting the American Nurses Foundation. Stay home of the Whopper.
So they hit on a lot of really good messages here. Got people to download the app, sign up for the delivery, and they even gave back to the nurses. So they did a great job with this. And it was cute. So over time, the pandemic message was getting pretty clogged down, honestly. People saw it everywhere. They saw it on the website, social media, their emails, of course, all over the commercials. And it became something that they really weren't looking forward to, just because it was everywhere. And many commercials were the exact same thing. They started out with that slow music, had the empty streets, somebody staring out a window, missing their friends, and then transitioning to upbeat music, saying we're here for you and creating a sense of heroism. So it's a great message, but over time, people got tired of it and it became overplayed. So what exactly do consumers want to hear from the brands? 344 people were asked what specific content they want to hear. So from a high level, people want transparency. They want clear communication on when and where they can get your products. They're tired of coming to a store and realizing that hours have been changed, or coming to the supermarket and see that their cleaning supplies are still out of the stock. It's exhausting and frustrating. So at first, people wanted to know how they were helping them. Then it transitioned into how you're helping others. And now it's what is this going to look like in the future? People still want to know how you're cleaning, when you're open, when they can get your products, and how you're helping others, but it's time to talk about the future and what that looks like. And everyone, I'm sure, remembers the stages of the low stocks this year. So we ran out of things from toilet paper, hand sanitizer, the fitness equipment, puzzles, and office desks. It was crazy. And it was a serious problem, especially when you ran out of toilet paper. But a McKinsey report said that the availability of products and services is the #1 reason customers are switching their brands right now. 77% of Americans have tried out new shopping methods, brands, or places to shop. And we all know that we don't have time to go to the store to find your favorite cleaning wipe. We just grab what we can get our hands on. And for marketers, it's not easy for us to keep the shelves stocked for physical products in demand. But for marketers that can control the availability, we need to stay on top of communicating when these items are available and where they're at. You can refine your email communications, text messaging campaign, website banners, whatever it is, people like to be notified when these items are available. And if local search is part of your digital marketing strategy, you'll want to keep your Google My Business listing complete, detailed, and updated on an ongoing basis, which means use it to post COVID updates, any changes to your store hours, regular photos, post FAQs, and continuously gather reviews. Reviews are important for both your digital reputation and as a local search ranking factor. People rely on photos and reviews on your Google My Business account to get a feel for your business, brand, and experience. And if the lack of availability is enough, people's schedules have changed entirely. More people are working from home, they're homeschooling, they're dealing with these crazy schedules. And although they're getting more comfortable with it now, it's still a big shock to their system, but they're feeling like they're able to help their family in a whole new way. But anyway, it all comes back down to timely communication. It's paramount. Be clear about what you can and can't do and set reasonable expectations when you're open, what you have available, and when. Okay, number 2, be transparent and purpose-driven. Of course, trust can have a direct impact on conversions, and people won't buy from brands they don't trust. But customers want to do more than just buy from a brand. They want to connect, gain, and maintain a relationship with brands through common purposes and values. People also want to know how you're using their data. 2020 was full of breaches, hacks, and cybersecurity issues. From the Marriott hotels to Facebook, it's been a lot. So be sure that you're transparent on how you're using their data. Make sure that they can't miss it or get confused. People also want to know how you're keeping them and your employees safe from the virus. They want to know what your cleaning protocols are. The trust is built when you see that they know how to properly sanitize, seeing that it's actually being done, and that mask policies are being enforced. It's the worst when you walk into a store, they have these big signs, you must wear a mask, and the employees' masks are down to their chin, and they ran out of cleaning wipes for your carts. It's really off-putting. Another thing, people also want to know where you stand on certain social topics. So communication on these topics and following through is extremely important. All of this meaning that you'll want to invest in a good content strategy. So to get your message across today, it takes more than just text or photos. If you don't already have a video part into your marketing strategy, it's going to be vital in 2021 to convey your story the right way. Social media is still going to be a big part of sharing your message. It creates new opportunities to connect with audiences and re-engage with those long-time customers. For a few $100s a month, a good social media marketer can develop a content plan, make regular posts for you, monitor and drive customer responses, and attract new businesses. And if you've been putting off adding a solid social media plan to your marketing, now is the time. You can use videos, images, and stories to really build up and engage your target audience in really cool ways. While some people follow brands for humor and inspiration, 57% of consumers are hoping to learn about new products and services from a brand's social feed. You can see from these stats that the pandemic has dramatically increased the amount of time people spend online, which includes how they research products, brands, and organizations. Social media advertising is still going to be big because you can highly target your audiences at a reasonable cost. And you B2B folks, do not avoid LinkedIn. They're getting much better at targeting right now. Although LinkedIn has a higher cost per click on average, it can deliver a significant ROI. In fact, 94% of B2B marketers use LinkedIn to distribute content, and it's their #1 social media platform for lead generation. Social media advertising isn't new. We know this. So I won't go into a whole lot of detail on this, but I will say that going into 2021, be aware of ad blockers. They're increasingly becoming more popular, and it's expected to see that 27% of internet users are going to use some sort of ad blockers this upcoming year. So if you notice that your target audience heavily uses ad blockers, PPC and display campaigns may not be the most effective approach for you. Number 3, focus on customer retention. We all know it costs significantly less money to keep your existing customers than to attract new ones. Happy customers tend to tell their friends and provide referrals to help increase revenue. They're also more likely to give you direct and honest feedback about issues to improve your brand. It's important to keep them engaged and informed on your organizational changes or processes that would impact your relationship. So you can do this through a number of different ways: by providing interactive value, through customer service, good customer service, and user experience. So let's talk about providing value through your interactive ways. If you don't already have this, take advantage of interactive tools to help your audience get deeper into your funnel. Interactive elements not only provide value for visitors, it also gives them a whole new way to engage with your brand. It helps you reach a wider audience and helps you learn about them too. It could be something like a calculator, a quiz to see if you qualify for something, a game, a survey, a contest to share or to get referrals, assessments, you name it. Now let's talk about customer service. If customer service wasn't already a top priority, it needs to be on your radar headed into 2021. 49% of consumers saying they'll unfollow brands because of poor customer service. We can't afford to ignore any questions they receive from followers online. As you think about how to improve your marketing this year, take a moment to evaluate how customer inquiries are handled and where your team can best support them. Your brand should already have an always-on channel and two-way form of dialogue where your customers can reach out to resolve an issue and ask questions. It can be through your website, a mobile app, Facebook, or a support line. Another thing, chatbots are becoming popular. It's expected that 75 to 90% of all queries expected to be handled by chatbots by 2022. You don't necessarily need to have the most powerful AI chatbot that syncs across all your channels. You need one really good chatbot that's good enough to provide a good experience and answer their questions. And keep in mind, response times are also really important. A study by Gartner found that customers are more likely to stick with brands long-term when their service expectations are met. Now, user experience cannot be overlooked either. Mobile checkout experiences are constantly being optimized. According to Google, the average mobile checkout experience takes 120 taps, and the average abandon rate is 27%. So consider evaluating your checkout experience. There's a lot of missed revenue and goal completions that might be hiding in your mobile checkout experience. So make sure to scrutinize that journey from tab to tab. And optimizing user experience is a good practice for your users too, but it's also an important factor for search algorithms. So UX signals such as load time, interactivity, and the stability of content as it loads are now Google search factors that must be considered. It's important stuff, guys. User experience will be just as important as on-page or off-page SEO, if not more. If people are jumping off your site because they can't find what they need, you're going to feel it this year. Check out some of these survey results that back up on why this is important for your strategy. So some takeaways here. Make sure your site is loading fast. Make sure it's easy to use and find, and make sure it's accessible across all devices and platforms. All right, let's go to number 4. Personalize. Personalization and segmentation is so powerful, especially when you're in a time where budget cuts can happen at any moment's notice. Segmenting your messaging gives you the opportunity to target in a more cost-effective fashion. 90% of marketers say personalization significantly contributes to business profitability, and 36% of shoppers admit they want better personalization. A super effective personalization and segment strategy can be great, but at the same time, it needs to be coupled with a well-orchestrated buyer's journey campaign to get them deeper down into that funnel. People respond better to brands that understand their needs. As marketers, we need to optimize for both relevance to the consumer and the lifetime value of the brand. You can add value to the journey by building and optimizing content around the 4 core intents: getting information, making a purchase, shopping and comparing products, and getting to a certain website or digital place. Overall best practices for content is to use clear, concise sentences and use their language. Write how they talk. Write content that answers those searches and really nurtures them down into the buyer's journey. This one may seem elementary to some, but number 5 still is a real issue that we need to be conscious about. They have basic needs that may not be met. There are some people still really struggling with the coronavirus or its impact. They may be personally fighting the virus, mourning the loss of a loved one, battling in the front lines, struggling with the job loss, homeschooling their kids for the first time, whatever it is, everyone's going through different pandemics. So going back to our Psych 101 class, Maslow's hierarchy of needs says if someone's basic needs aren't being met, it's hard for them to achieve other areas in their life. And I think this is going to play a bigger role in 2021. It's just something that we need to be aware of. Sometimes you're so focused on site speed, SEO keyword rankings, or meeting compliance regulations, number 6 can sometimes get lost, which is to create content for humans. I say this because it can easily get sucked up into riding the same wave or following the latest trends, sending the same overly sappy message. But the people we're marketing to are human. They can sense the ingenuineness between the lines. Brands that go the extra mile and take action do get noticed, even if they're just adding at-risk hours, providing financial relief, or creating a contactless delivery experience for their buyers. Humans also get tired of the same thing. They want something different. They want to be human and entertained sometimes. And don't worry about your SEO strategy being affected when you shift your focus towards human engagement. Today, the search engine giants are smart enough to understand what searches are being looked for, and they can gather context clues from your writing, even if you insert a preposition into the key phrases. Increasingly, people are using search engine experiences, less with Google keyword speak and more conversational. This means that you don't need to create content that answers questions. Create people-optimized content, which means no keyword stuffing, and make it easy to read or skim through. To show that it works, brands achieved a 677% increase in organic traffic to a landing page after optimizing for search intent. That's huge. I'll take that any day. Another thing, it's all conversational, which brings us, of course, to voice assistants. Voice search is on the rise and it's here to stay. Although voice search is currently not part of Google's algorithm, it is still dictating current search results. So we need to start optimizing our content for voice too, which means more direct and conversational. Voice searches are going up. Think about it. It's faster, it's more convenient, it's everywhere. It's in your car, your house, on your phone. It's too convenient to not use. Although people use voice mostly for food-related requests, 28% of voice searches result in a phone call to a business, 27 result in business's website, and 19 result in an in-person visit. Soon enough, people will say, Alexa, call the best auto accident lawyer. And you won't be competing for the top 10 spots on the first page, but the number 1 spot for voice soon enough. You see. And number 7, we need to grasp the nonlinear journeys. Today, consumers see ads specific to them and what they need. You better believe it when you start to plan for that big hiking trip to Colorado, that you'll start seeing ads for hiking boots or GoPros. The internet is super powerful. We know that. And it can be leveraged, and we'll have to leverage them to the max this upcoming year. But things have gone much more sophisticated these days. It's not a linear buyer path anymore of seeing an ad and the consumer running to the store to make a purchase. We need to continue to step up our game to get the attention of our buyers. We need to grasp the journey it takes for them to get there by really digging into the persona's needs, their desires, and how they research and how they make their buying decision. Okay, the final tip. Be agile. 2020 has so many curveballs, but that doesn't mean that the next year won't have any. Even after the COVID-19 era passes, there's still so many uncertainties. The point is that we need to closely scrutinize our goals, KPIs, and performance metrics to really focus on the strategies that work the best. If we want to survive and thrive, we need to be nimble with our strategies and at the same time, be able to quickly implement new strategies on the fly. Be prepared for a cut in funds and be able to make a decision. We'll probably transition from a traditional push campaign to more integrated processes that drive the best ROI. So I suggest instead of spinning your wheels, mapping out the whole year right now, strategize in shorter periods at a time. Okay, so let's recap real quick. Expect the unexpected. It's hard to know what's around the corner. The best approach is to stay flexible, be agile, and open-minded. Make the most of the situation. Make the upcoming year the year of people first. Put people at the center of everything you do. There will always be new trends and external market conditions to keep pace with, but the success of it all really boils down to how well we treat people, how well we're able to empathize, recognize, and serve their needs. The more validated a customer feels, the deeper relationship that customer will build with the brand. Start by following the needs of our consumers. Truth is, it's constantly changing and getting curveballs thrown at us. And one of the best ways to become a successful marketer is by staying on top of the trends and implementing them into your own marketing strategy. It is critical to ensure our businesses never being outdated or ineffective strategies to reach our audience, as this can lead to a spiral of downward events. All in all, each year always brings about new trends and strategies for marketers to implement. Consumer tastes change by the day, which means the best marketing tactics are constantly changing as well. So that's all the content I have for you today. I hope you're able to take something out of this presentation, but guys, I encourage you, don't just take your notes and store them in your laptop or in your notebook and forget about them. I know how this stuff goes. It happens to me too. So instead, I challenge you to take what you learned today and use something towards your strategy and put it into practice today, okay? And one final ask, everyone take out your phones. Get your phones out or your snipping tool and take a second to capture my contact information that's written on this slide. This is going to be important because every company that's here listening live today gets a free 30-minute consultation with me personally. And you can use that time to get a fresh set of eyes on your strategy, ask me questions, start a new plan to help build your brand out this next year. We'll be happy to help, and we'll be looking forward to talking with you and your team. So reach out anytime this week or next week so we can get something on our schedule soon. I'll be looking forward to connecting with you. All right, well, that's it for now. Again, thank you for joining in and listening for me today. I really appreciate your time, and I'll be looking forward to connecting soon. Bye.